Hello, and welcome to week 2 of the summer session. Today I'm going to be talking about primarily the reading assignment for week 2 as well as the large higher stakes assignment. So for week 2 you'll be reading 3 chapters from Markel's textbook, chapters 1, 2, and 10. Of course, chapter 1 serves as an introduction to the text, and Markel really focuses on explaining the importance of technical communication, specifically in the workplace. He even goes so far as to say that technical communication is just as important as courses in the major area of study for employers. In terms of some key points that you should really focus on from Chapter 1 would be the characteristics of a technical document and measures of excellence in technical communication. The other part of Chapter 1 that I really like is Markel's discussion of a process. So it's not just about the product, but developing a process by which to create technical documents. And I think that that's really important and a concept that I'll be emphasizing during this course. So be sure to look really closely at that, because I hope everyone is able to develop a sustainable process by which to create technical documents by the end of this summer session. Moving along then, Chapter 2 focuses on ethical and legal obligations. And that may seem maybe not so immediately important to you when you're thinking about your career, but I do think that those concepts and those issues are very important. So be sure to really look at the principles for ethical communication that Markel includes in Chapter 2. And for the homework assignment, you'll actually be answering one of the questions from Chapter 2 about the role of social media in the workplace. So I think one of the main takeaways is to think about how, once you work for a company or an institution, that you are representing that company or institution, and how important those ethical considerations are. So keep that in mind. Also, I think maybe a connection to your primary role as a student right now is the academic integrity policy that EKU asks you to abide by as students, so that you're academically honest, right? So that's I think maybe a good connection to think about as you're reading Chapter 2 and thinking about the role of ethics in the workplace. So finally, you're going to be reading Chapter 10, and that's really the chapter that's going to help you complete the higher stakes assignment that'll be due at the end of week 2, and that is going to be application materials. So you're going to be writing a cover letter and a resume for this assignment. You'll also complete a peer review, and I'll be posting that information about your peer review groups and what that process will look like under the week 2 folder on Blackboard. So be sure to look there for that information. I'm sure most of you have already applied for jobs. Many of you have jobs, so this won't be totally new to you. But what I'm asking that you do is to follow the guidelines that Markel presents in Chapter 10. There are multiple ways to go about creating a resume, as I'm sure most of you know. But I want us to follow the guidelines that Markel sets out, because that is a widely accepted format, and I want you to have practice in that particular method. So you'll see that information laid out in the assignment sheet on Blackboard as well. Another really good resource, though, is through our EKU Center for Career and Co-op, and this is what their most recent job search guide looks like. You can also find this on their website. I'm going to link to that on our course Blackboard site, so you can look at it there. But I think that the Career Center is a really great resource, and I find that it's one that many students don't take advantage of. So I'm hopeful that you will look to them, especially if you are interested in doing a co-op experience or looking for an internship. I think that they're really helpful on those fronts, and that is great experience to have. So keep that in mind as you're thinking beyond your time at EKU and really preparing yourself for the kind of career that you want to have once you have the degree in hand. Now for the application materials, you'll see in the assignment sheet that, that you can go about this in a few different ways. So it doesn't just have to be an application for a job. It can be an application for a graduate program, because I imagine that some of you will be pursuing graduate study after you obtain this degree at EKU. You could also fashion this as an application for an internship, or as an application for participation in maybe like a professional development kind of program. So, this is a really flexible assignment. So I think that this that you should make it be as useful to yourself as you possibly can. So be sure that you choose wisely in terms of how you want to shape your letter and your resume. Again, you'll find all of the assignment sheets and guidelines and the link to the Career Center on Blackboard, also the information about the peer review experience and the listings of the groups. So but if you have any questions, feel free to email me, let me know. I'm always happy to help out, and I look forward to seeing those application materials at the end of the week. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.